recording.
This meeting is being recorded.
We're here to discuss Rudolf Dreikurs and Linda Albert's classroom management theories. This presentation is being given by Raquel de James Richerson, Grant Marshall, and Chris Parrish. Rudolf Dreikurs, born in Austria, educated at the University of Vienna, ended up being a psychiatrist who built most of his work on the previous psychologist, Alfred Adler. His system of individual psychology claimed that human behavior is directly tied to belonging in a social group. The pragmatic use of this theory in the classroom centers around having students cooperate with no fear of punishment and without reward, because they are valued contributors to the classroom social environment. He moved to the United States and passed away in Chicago in '72, but not before starting the North American Society of Adlerian Psychology in 1952. Linda Albert worked on classroom discipline like that of Dreikurs, was focused on the idea that every student should feel like they belong in class. She cut her teeth initially as a behavioral problem specialist in New York, working from '72 to '81. Her cooperative discipline model sprang from the Dreikurs and Adlerian school, and she ended up being a college professor, counselor, and author. And Linda, initially in the New York public school system, began in the middle school.
All right, the overall theory of Rudolf Dreikurs, it is based on the students and their behaviors. He theorized that he wanted students to fit in and thought that if all 29 students are conforming to the behavioral norms, then that one kid that's not would eventually conform to the behavior norms of the social group. He believed that there were 4 goals of misbehavior. They are attention getting. So kids that want to get attention don't get enough at home. Seeking power, wanting to be a powerful person in charge, think they're right all the time. Seeking revenge, and displaying inadequacy. He thought that instead of disciplining students and getting them in trouble, the use of encouraging those students with logical consequences was how he went about his discipline. Linda Albert, she had a very similar but slightly different theory on discipline. It is influenced from Rudolf Dreikurs, as said before. Teachers require a discipline approach that permits them to work cooperatively with students and parents. This is something that she believed and was like a core issue or a theory of her model. She wanted every student to feel valued and like they belong in class. And she had 3 C's for her theory: capable, connect, and contribute. Capable is the I can level. She wanted students to say, I can do this, this, and this. I can do all things. Connect, she was helping kids and students connect to not only the content, but the environment in the classroom. And contribute, helping students contribute to not only themselves and their classwork, but contribute to the classroom society as a whole.
Alrighty, so there are, many advantages and some disadvantages to the cooperative discipline classroom management style. So some advantages include that it breeds an environment where students are actively involved in the overall feel of the classroom. So students are actually given the opportunity to figure out their emotions and how to act appropriately and maturely in the classroom. So giving the students the autonomy actually allows them to develop critical thinking skills and promotes a feeling of belonging. So kind of what Grant was talking about. This idea becomes, so the idea essentially becomes that students will be less likely to break their own laws since they are the ones who created them. So this model, it also promotes support from not only school administration, but parents as well. Because parents and school administrators are actually involved in creating the code of conduct, they will most likely feel more responsible to upholding the students to their agreed behavior. And So there are some cons that we came up with when, analyzing cooperative discipline. The main disadvantages that we kind of saw here are that this model requires a lot of time and control of emotions by the teacher to be effective in the classroom. So often teachers must remove a part of themselves to remain impartial and apply the same discipline to all students. And we also thought that applying cooperative discipline requires the teacher to take instruction time to rectify students' actions, whereas in traditional methods, the teacher may choose to speak and address the misbehavior outside of the instructional period. So it really eats up into the class time, which can lead to less teaching. This type of discipline also requires a lot of training on behalf of the teachers, which may cost the district money that they don't necessarily have, and time that the teachers don't have outside of the classroom as well. And then another main disadvantage is just that the students aren't really clear. They don't have a clear understanding of what exactly is expected of their behavior, and thus this can lead to more misbehavior as well.
All right, so I have a few examples for the 4 different types of behavior that the students might be looking for. If you suspect your student has like attention-seeking behavior, you want to give them a lot of positive feedback when a student behaves well, so that they are getting that attention only when they're doing positive stuff and they continue to do positive things to try and get that attention. Like example of that might be like standing beside the student. It's something really small, but you're giving them some form of attention there. If you have a power-seeking student, as we said before, you want to give power, obviously within reason, but one way that we've already said of giving power is like having the students come up with their own rules that they follow. And that gives them a source of power. And then another thing is you can have them choose, do you want to work in groups or by yourself? A big no-no for these type of students is fighting them, and that because that can give them power. And then for revenge-seeking students, you want to build a good close relationship with that student. Ask about their interests, ask about their weekend, stuff like that. If you do get into a predicament, you want to be trying to diffuse a situation rather than escalate it. You want to try and be empathetic and find a common ground between the both of you, rather than just fight them on it. And then for students who have avoidance of failure behavior, you want to design assignments that encourage work. To some degree, making it easy, but not, or easier, but not full on make it easy. A good way is take use of technology. It might put less like initial effort into something, so it encourages the students to go and do it because it's less scary to them. Also, if you teach different intelligences, if one teacher only teaches with visual or logic based, and some students don't learn that way, they might feel like they're failing and then go to avoidance of failure behaviors because of that. So if you teach in broad senses, it might be a good way to prevent that. And here are references. That seemed pretty good.
You're still recording.
Did